Lagos is home to Nigeria's industrial and commercial giants. The size of its economy, despite being a sub-national government, stands it out as a foremost economy. Sustaining this enormous economy requires right policies and high-quality infrastructure. This informed the efforts of the Lagos state government through the mandate given to the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure to revamp the state's infrastructure. Transportation is key to the continued economic leadership of Lagos State. An integral part of public transportation is the road component. And in view of this, Governor Babatunde Fashola's administration has devoted lots of attention and resources to reconstruction and the expansion of Lagos road network. The projects, which are ambitious as well as extensive, are located in different parts of the state.
But what is important is for all of us to understand why we build roads. Do we build roads simply because we like to build roads? Certainly not. It's because roads are defining for our way of life. Roads should help us get to our business places quickly. They should help us get to work quickly. They should help our children get to school quickly. And where they work, the cost of transportation should really come down, because traveling should be a pleasant experience.
My job as the Commissioner for Works and Infrastructure is to align with the vision of the state government. As a member of the State Executive Council, we meet regularly, at least once a week, to determine the direction that we want the state to go. And part of it is to renew infrastructure in order to alleviate poverty. We believe that by building infrastructure across the state, we'll be able to reduce poverty because we increase the economic activity within the state. Because for every good road, you reduce the amount of time people spend on that road, and therefore they use less fuel, and that translates into putting money into people's pocket. So the overall aim of government is to reduce the infrastructure deficit that we have in the state and make sure that we are able to move people, move water, and able to move pedestrians.
In the last 3.5 years of Governor Fashola's second term, the administration had completed and handed over 161 roads, while over 220 others are at various stages of completion. In all, the roads now facilitate a faster, convenient, and predictable movement of people, goods and services within and across the state. In prosecuting its road development agenda, the state government adopted the Strategic Inner Road Development Program, under which strategic inner roads were identified for upgrade and redevelopment.
We have various criteria. One of them is to determine the traffic bearing capacity of that road. Working with the Ministry of Transportation, we always know the number of vehicles per road. So we determine how many people actually go through those roads. Then also working with the Ministry of Environment, we determine the outfall. Where are we going to discharge the water? Because like I said, Lagos is blessed in a way, it's a coastal city and it's 2 meters below sea level. Therefore, water is extremely important in whatever we do. We must be able to move those waters. So we look at the presence of outfall, we look at the traffic bearing capacity, and we look at connectivity. It must be connected so that we don't just build a road that's an island. And therefore we look at connectivity, how does it meet major roads? So if you are doing inner roads, which inner roads does it link to? What is the relationship between it again and road B? So we look at various factors, but those three are extremely important to make sure that people can move around quickly, we can deflood the community, and then we can use it to move enormous amount of traffic so that people can go to work, go to school, or go to hospital, or do whatever they like to do without necessarily impacting other people's lives.
Kodeso and Simbiat Abiola roads were major roads upgraded and reconstructed. Located in the heart of the Ikeja business district, the two roads had for some time caved into pressure, occasioned by increased commercial and vehicular activities in this area. With the stress of commuting in traffic caused by the bad state of the roads and its impact on health and wealth of the people, the administration embarked on the reconstruction of the two roads.
As a ministry, we always have a plan. So as it is today, there are various designs that we have. It's a question of resources. So when we have enough resources, there are many roads that we've planned right now. So basically, what we decided to do on that axis is to expand Kodeso and then Simbiat Abiola. You notice that they are parallel to each other, but that's a major community. So when you are going to Lasut, when you are going to police command, to the High Court, you pass through Kodeso or Simbiat Abiola. When you are going to the airport. So we realize that these are roads really that connect major traffic attracting areas. And as such, we decided to expand them so that we can free motorists from pedestrian, one, improve the security, because of course for every road that we build, we also include street lights, and also to make sure that the business activity along that area do better so that people can park well, but while doing that, don't affect the traffic on that road. So that's the essence, those are the reasons why we chose those roads, is to improve the economic activity in Ikeja. And I'm sure that is happening right now.
The road was very bad before, and now everybody is enjoying it. So thank you to Governor Raji Fashola.
You can see Newton Intel is really good, and it's more dualized. There is more space on the road. It's looking more good and better and fine.
Other road projects executed in Ikeja include Sule Abore Street, Rokbo Owolabi Street, Celestial Street, Adeboye, Sholanke Street, Bale Street, Oremeta Street, and the Surulere Industrial Road. The 2.68-kilometer Alaba Cemetery Road in Ajeromi Felodu local government was another project delivered by this administration. The road, which used to be a refuse dump, was delivered in fulfillment of the promise to continuously improve and expand the state's road network. It was a huge relief for people living in Ajegunle, as the road had further opened up the area, providing a needed access route to the neighborhoods. The Ajao Ejigbo Road and the Link Bridge reconstruction and dualization was another project executed in the last 3.5 years. The road created a link between the sprawling Ajao and Ejigbo communities and reduced considerably the travel time around the axis. Commuters no longer have to go through Isolo to reach Ejigbo. In Ado Kekere, Langbasa, Ajabadore and Church Roads in the Aja axis, Governor Fashola's administration is seriously connecting the various communities and the localities. The massive road construction being undertaken in these areas is complementing the ongoing expansion of the Lekki-Ekpe Expressway. The construction and completion of Akerele Street in Surulere is added to the efforts previously made through Eric Moore, Akerele from Alaji Masha to Ogunlano Drive and Bode Thomas Roads. These projects were undertaken as part of the plan to return the new Lagos to its pride of place. In Ifakwa-Ijaye, the administration in the course of its second term in office completed Yaya Baton and College Road. The road, which was previously a single lane, is now dualized. College Road was delivered along with Kayode Street, Ogoluwa network of roads, Awolumate Oguntade Street in Idrishaga, Alakuko Road and others, which significantly reduced the stress of commuting along that axis. Badagry, Ikorodu and Ekpe areas were not left out, as extensive road construction projects are either completed or ongoing. These include the 650 meters long Market Street, Phase 2, handed over by Governor Fashola in the Badagry local government area. So also was Balogun Amodu, Alhaji Dodondawa and Salawu Olariwaju Road, Odoegiri, all in Ekpe.
In every local government, whether Ekpe, Badagry, there are road construction going on. In Ekpe, Ejiri, we are doing Salabi Olariwaju is actually completed. In Ejiri, Dodondawa, so as far back as Ejiri. In doing those roads, they are a bit more challenging. So for example, in Ejiri, we have to relocate 6 coffins from the road because so we have to work with the community because the coffins are on the road, and therefore we want to work with the KBSC. They are really assisted us. So we have different challenges, but the reality is that across the state, in Ekpe, in Badagry, in Ikorodu, we are doing enormous amount of roads, so that everywhere, again, like we said, all these local governments are just administrative for administrative functions. But in terms of connectivity, people move through them every day. So we make sure that as it connects, so for example, in Ikorodu right now, we are doing Obafemi Awolowo Road all the way to Itamaga. It's about almost a 7-kilometer road. So we are doing Ebute Igbogbo. Some people call it Ekpakodo Igbogbo. We are starting that. So it's an enormous amount of roads that we are doing across the state, not just Ikorodu, or it's Surulere, in Shomolu, in Mushin, and the rest. We are all over the state, so that at least everybody can have a feel of the road infrastructure that we are doing.
On 10th of September 2013, the administration handed over the newly constructed Ibeshe Road. The road, which was about 7 kilometers long, was widened from 8 meters to over 20 meters and completed with interlocking paving stones. Like other roads, it boasts of such complementary facilities as service ducts, streetlights, drainage on both sides, and pedestrian walkways. In Mushin, 16 roads have been completed. Projects include Akonro Ishaga, Olanubi, Akinlaon, Ajano, Sadiku, and Oyewuwo streets. These have opened up Mushin and its residents to new opportunities as businesses are done faster and commercial transactions delivered with greater efficiency. There also were the Oyewole, Adialu, Adejare, and Shobowale streets in Agege. Indeed, the list is inexhaustive. Perhaps the most outstanding of all the road projects undertaken by Governor Fashola's administration was the Lekki-Ikoyi Link Bridge. The bridge, a masterpiece indeed, was the first of its kind in sub-Saharan Africa because it is a suspension or cable-stayed bridge. Initiated to decongest traffic on the Lekki-Ekpe Road axis, the construction of this bridge is in line with the policy of the present administration to ensure that all infrastructural facilities in the state are in conformity with its mega city status by the year 2015.
From the foot of this bridge, right round to where it opens up on Alexander, you will have traveled 5.8 kilometers approximately. It will take you roughly about 23 minutes to make that journey time. But if you cross this bridge, you'll be traveling 1.38 kilometers and you'll be doing so in only 3 minutes. So at a minimum, depending on how complex traffic is, you'll be saving 20 minutes of your time. If you save 20 minutes of time every day for a year, you would have saved 5 days of life. If you make the math for 50 years, for 60 years, and for 70 years, you'll be amazed how much time you will save.
There are a few things that came up. The fundamental reason is to find a way to decongest Victoria Island. As you know, Victoria Island is an essential part in terms of economic activity. There are many companies, banks, and the rest. So, but what happens today is when people are coming from Ajah and beyond, they have to go through, and going to mainland, they have to go through VI. Even though some of them don't have anything to do there, it's just because there are no alternatives. So the idea is to make sure that if people are coming from Ajah and afar, and they are not going to VI, they can take a bypass and just move on, so that you decongest the traffic. Also, at the time, we realized that the 1004 estate was at that time being rehabilitated, being fixed, sold to private people and so on. We believe that when it is fully occupied, a lot of traffic will also be introduced onto that road. And the essence is again to decongest. And that's the idea behind. Now, after getting the idea that we need this bridge, the design is what do we build? And we just thought that it is important to build something iconic. Every city that we all know, Sydney, London, New York, have iconic infrastructure. And we just thought this is an iconic infrastructure that we can build that can define the state and show that in Africa, in West Africa, we can also do something very great.
It's well sited and it's unique. It's impressive. It's something we have always yearned for. And when it came, it's a blessing to people who plied this route. It's a strong relief from the usual road that we used to pass. It's safe, it's functional, and it reduces a lot of stress.
In spite of all these projects completed, construction and rehabilitation of several roads are still ongoing. Prominent among these are the Mile 12 to Ikorodu Road, which is fast nearing completion, Ipaja Ayobo, Amikonle, Idimu Ejigbo Phase 1, Karimulaka, Meron Phase 2 and other roads in Adimosho, Omoni, Bombay, Commercial and Burma roads in Apapa, Ajara, Erekiti, Iragon and Ikoga roads in Badagry, Alade, Adeniyi, Eluku and Isaleagoro Street in Ekpe, Methodist roads in Agboa, including Abuliado Phase 1 and 2 amongst other roads in Amuodofin. Also ongoing are the Ajelogo, Ogunfayo, Adeba and Chief Moshood Adebayo roads in Ibejuleki, Joel Ogunaike, Isaac John Phase 1 and 2, Okpaleye and Billy Odumaya streets in Ikeja, Eniola, Akwesin, Olateju and Kelani streets in Mushin, Igi Olugbin, Adaranijo, Salami, Shuaibu and Okuta streets in Shomolu, Oshodi, Brown, Shekoni, Ago Palace Way Phase 3 and Oyetayo Church Phase 1 roads in Oshodi Solo. There also is the Ishashi, Jakonde, Afromedia, Adaloko and Okiagbo roads in Ojo, and the biggest of them all, the construction of the 10-lane Lagos-Badagry Expressway and the light rail project, which is advanced considerably.
It's a massive road. You know, for example, we are turning 4 lanes into 10 lanes. What that means really is that you are increasing the right of way. Now, there are certain things on those right of way right now. For example, NMPC pipes. So NMPC pipes run across the road and also longitudinal to the road. Now, what that means is we have to move those pipes. So, you know, we have to work with NMPC in order to move those pipes. So, working with different agencies, some of the pylons, the PACN pylons, we have to work with PACN. They have to de-energize. And so, it takes a lot of interaction with various agencies of federal government, even with the military, because there are walls we have to move, we have to build new school there and so on and so forth. And then citizens, there are markets there that need to. So that is taking a lot of time because the human part of it is important that we manage it. So if we want to relocate a market, we must work with the market people. How do we relocate it, build a new market, and so on and so forth. So it's the human part of it that is extremely important. And that's why the most important part is establishing that right of way. So if you go there, you notice that we are doing the drains. The moment we finish the drain, it means we've established the right of way. Doing the road itself is easy. But making sure that we fix that width of the road so that at least there's no encumbrances. And that's the biggest challenge. So it's a human thing. Okay, Lagos is not this road is not a virgin land. So it's built up. There are various things there. There are telecommunication cables. There are masts. There are all sorts of things. So in trying to do that, we must move them.
In all, the number of roads completed between May 2011 and March 2014 are 121 roads, while 211 are still ongoing. Yet, 48 more roads have been earmarked for upgrading. Out of this, 31 are to be reconstructed or upgraded, while 17 are to receive grading or surface dressing.
Lagos State Government, we've implemented a GIS, Geographic Information System, and what that means is we can map every inch of land in Lagos. So we know where the roads are. In my office, on a computer, I can look at the roads. Now, so we know all these roads. The challenge is we cannot do all the roads at one time. Even if we have the resources, let us say, which we don't, but let us assume we have the resources. Because of what I said, if we are doing road A, we divert traffic sometimes to road B. Therefore, you couldn't do road A and do B at the same time. It means we paralyze the whole place. Now, we know that there are so many roads still undone. Old Ota Road, Dokpemo Road, Kirikiri Road, Old Ojo Road is part of them, Mbaka Doso, Ijagemo, Ijedodo, Yetkem Avenue, Amekonle, Dilion in Apapa, Liverpool Road again in Apapa, Fadaini, Obale Road, Magbon Road, Itoikin Jebu Road, Jebu Ode Road, Itoikin Ekpe Road, Igbokushu. Although we went there and do palliatives, Alpha Beach Road or Gombo, Meta Box Road, Igbe Road in Ikorodu, Bola Ahmed Tinubu Road in Igbogbo, Obamolaja Ogunlewe Road in Gbogbo again, but no way. And so many. Those are not the only ones. I'm just mentioning some of them. Now, like I said, we've done enormous amount of roads. Within the last 3 years, we've done over 200 roads. Right now, there are about 211 roads under construction. So there is an enormous amount of roads that we are doing. But like I said, we cannot take everything at a single time. Just first of all because of resources, then second because you cannot paralyze the whole state by doing everything at one time. Now, since we know all these roads, we do them in batches. So, but it is important that we finish the ones that we've started. Like I said, we have over 200 roads under construction. So we are focusing to make sure that we finish all these roads so that we don't have roads that are not completed. And I think that is more important. As we finish some, we will take on some other again. So we'll take another 10, another 15, and so on and so forth until we are able to exhaust. And, when the next government comes, of course, the next government will build on this and make sure that we keep attacking the road infrastructure deficit in Lagos State.
Over time, Governor Babatunde Fashola's administration has been working on a number of federal roads with a total reconciled bill of 51 billion naira. This remains unpaid, but the state government continues to act as the federal government remains more remote to the state and its challenges.
Within the last 7 years, we've done roads that are federal roads to the tune of 59 billion. But we sat down with the Federal Ministry of Works, with all their engineers and auditors, and what they approved, really what they approved in court was 51 billion. But since, not a single penny has been paid. Right now, Lagos State government is also fixing the expansion joints and the bearings on Eko Bridge. There are 33 of those expansion joints. We are on 9 and 10 now. We fixed 1 to 8. We are on 9 and 10. For just when if you stay at that junction, you can see National Theatre right in front of you. Basically, that's costing us money, but we cannot allow these bridges to go unmaintained. They serve us in Lagos, even though it's a federal road, and it's important to the economic activity of Lagosians and improve the traffic experiences. So it is important that we fix it to make sure that they are safe, and that's exactly what we are doing. But unfortunately, we've not been able to recoup any money from the federal government, but we keep pushing, and hopefully we can get a lot of this money, because imagine if we get 51 billion, it will allow us to do a lot of more roads within the inner city of Lagos State.
Yet, the administration is still working on the Eko Bridge to replace 33 worn-out expansion joints and 8 roller bearings. This project, which is to ensure that the bridge retains its quality, will prolong its lifespan and reinforce its stability. It demonstrates government's abiding responsibility to protecting lives and properties. A robust road maintenance program exists, and Public Works Corporation is at the forefront of undertaking these over 200 roads which have benefited from the corporation's program. While the administration is aware that it has not reached the zenith of its abilities, resources and logistics means it must act on one project at a time to ensure that there are no abandoned projects. In addition, extensive street lighting projects were undertaken to further improve security and enhance nightlife across the state. The transformation of the night outlook on Kata Bridge, Ikorodu Road and Obafemi Awolowo Way in Ikeja expressly shows the impact of these street lighting projects. The police post in Orile was constructed as part of efforts to ensure better security in Lagos. The ultra-modern 571 shop Isopakodowo Market in Oshodi was another achievement in the last 3.5 years. The market now accommodates most of the market women and men displaced from the Oshodi on the bridge and the rail line. So also, work is almost completed on the Oyigbo market. This is to be delivered by the end of October. For a highly mobile city as Lagos, transportation is no doubt the live wire of its economy. The distinctive contribution of roads to the facilitation of socio-economic exchanges, the prosperity it engenders for the people, and the impacts on the state's development are critical indices that make provision of good roads highly essential. This is why Governor Babatunde Raji Fashola, with Dr. Kadri Obafemi Hamzat and Engineer Ganyu Johnson at his side, been able to execute road projects that have further opened up the state, make transportation more friendly, eliminate traffic bottlenecks and man-hour loss, and reduce stress of commuting by the people.